A theme for my practice and my life really lately has been actively examining thought processes, concepts around me, and starting to decolonize them, right? So, understanding how colonization has affected pretty much everything, okay? And it really does affect everything from how we eat to how we speak to each other, what we think is appropriate, and even our spiritual practices. So I saw something on TikTok. We all on TikTok. If you're not following me on TikTok, what are you doing? Celia Marie 1243. But I saw something on TikTok that kind of pushed me a little bit more to connect with my ancestors and really share with you guys how harmful colonization has been to spirituality and the practices. Welcome back, y'all, to Cosmosis or Whatever, where we're talking about the universe and our connection to it. I am Celia or Celia Marie 1243. I translate energy. I'm a spirit guide whisperer. I'm a fairy, tarot slayer, all of that. Get into it, okay? So I was talking about how I saw, that TikTok the other day, and actually I saw a few TikToks, right? And they were kind of starting to come across my feed, so they may have been coming across your guys' feeds as well. And basically what the TikToks were saying is that the term starseed has antisemitic roots to it. And one of the videos that I saw, and I will probably stitch, basically said that there is no way of separating starseed ideology from race supremacy. And that was a bold statement. Okay, that hit me right in the heart chakra, and it hit my ancestors right there too, because it was just kind of like, hold up, wait a minute. Like, let's rewind. There's a bigger picture here. Okay, so I have meditated on it. I've done some research and I dug a little deeper, right? And I encourage everybody to constantly be doing that in your practice. So, starseeds. What are starseeds for those of you guys who don't know? So my understanding, right, upon my own meditation of the concept, from what I've learned from practitioners, friends that I trust, it basically just means that your soul has been on more planets than just Earth, right? So we know that we have multiple incarnations here on Earth, but we can also have incarnations elsewhere. So I've definitely done a lot of readings for people who have lived on Arcturus, which is a star, have lived in the Andromeda galaxy, who have lived on Sirius A or Sirius B. Venus has been popping up a lot for people. And so, yeah, I definitely identify as a starseed. A lot of you guys have seen me connect with my starseed ancestors and guides, your starseed ancestors and guides. Most, if not all, of my clients are actually starseeds. I'm constantly reading people's energy and finding starseed origins. Like, I actually know that's part of my soul contract in this lifetime, is to disclose to people that they are starseeds and help to prepare them for that journey of ascension. So if you're looking to figure out what your starseed origins are, Akashic records, that's what we go into, right? That's like the record of everything. So, and upon doing that, I've learned a lot. I've gotten a lot of downloads about it in connecting again with my ancestors. And like I said, my ancestors are not too happy with these people who are talking about how starseeds are anti-Semitic, and a lot of people are saying that they're throwing out their starseed ideology altogether. And I feel like this is without doing proper research. So after this, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. As I was saying, okay, my ancestors and I really took issue with people saying that the starseed concept is anti-Semitic, and that people are saying they're not seeing the bigger picture. Okay, so enter decolonization, right? So the concept of human interaction with or even descendants from other planets or stars or galaxies, that concept, y'all, I want you to know is ancient. Okay, sit with that for a little bit. Ancient, what does that word mean? So I'm talking like this concept goes way back to oral tradition, pre-written history, okay? Before people were even writing down things, before history books even existed, right? So civilizations like the Mayans, the Polynesians, the Egyptians, and that's only to name a few, just off of the top of my head, because I know there's more, right? They all practice this concept. They all practice the concept. And so, disclaimer, I don't know if they use the word starseeds, right? And maybe that's where a little bit of the difference is, maybe that's where we're getting caught up in it. I have heard star people, when doing research or connecting about, with this concept with my own ancestors, people with like indigenous roots, stuff like that. So, I think it's really important first to note that. I was doing my research and I saw that most of the info that talks about starseeds having anti-Semitic roots, and I think a lot of people have used roots or the word connections. And so I think we need to be really clear about that as well. When you are saying that a concept is anti-Semitic and you're talking about roots, what roots are you referring to? Because when I look at a tree, the roots, I'm thinking of the stuff that's under the ground, right? This is where the seedlings started. Okay, but I think what people are talking about is roots, but they're actually referring to somewhere in the middle, right? So for context, most of the info with anti-Semitic roots, it started, I think I was seeing a lot of stuff about the 1800s, 1900s. If we look at that practically, right? Because it's all about balance. We're not here just to talk about spirituality. The 3D reality is a very important part of, learning, growing, even on your spiritual journey. Mid 1800s, 1900s, that's only like a couple hundred years ago, right? A lot of these civilizations that existed, the Mayans, the Polynesians, go back to about 1500, 2000 BCE, okay? BCE, before Common Era or before like Christianity, right? Before any of that was even a thought. Thousands, okay? Not hundreds, thousands of years before that concept. So if time, and I have an issue with this, but I digress. If time started with Christianity, it was even before 2,000 years before that. So it's like, okay, so that's just some concept. That's just to conceptualize it for you guys, to give you guys some, context. So do you guys see where this is going? Okay. Even in the articles that I was reading, that people who were making these claims on TikTok, they literally referenced some of this material, right? And me being who I am, I looked up the material. I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to give me something to read, let's read it. A lot of these articles were even saying that these ideas were taken or influenced by Buddhism and other cultural concepts. So I don't take that lightly, right? We're not going to just slide over that one. We're not just going to glaze over that. Because in the context historically of how things have been influenced, right? Let's, in quotes, influenced by things. We know a lot of that has just been stolen. Let's just be real, right? It's been outright stolen, and a lot of it has been manipulated to fit a different narrative. So I want to put that out there for you guys to chew on, okay? When it comes to cultures, again, Polynesian, I'm Polynesian. I am Black. There's a lot of connections that Africa has to these types of concepts. Polynesia has to these concepts. I'm also Asian, that Asia has to these concepts. Again, before like ancient stuff, okay? And I want to say this, it is not our fault that our culture, okay, has been colonized and turned into something that it was never meant to be. And in this case, I'm talking about anti-Semitic. So we're really getting into some big picture thinking here. So I really want you guys to just, again, chew on that. Think about it, okay? It goes beyond the 1800s, 1900s. And when we're getting into a lot of these spiritual practices, I think it's important to dive into that. So I'd say, yes, be very aware when somebody is talking about starseeds or any other concept for that matter. And where are they getting their info, right? Was it 200 years ago? Or are they connected to the deeper roots like many people I know are? Right? I encourage everyone to do their own research, do your own due diligence, especially within your own cultural context and even others, right? To see how they actually connect. Any type of context, I keep using that word, I don't know, like word of the day, context. Any other stuff that you see, any other concepts that you see people introducing to you, if they feel like they ring true, that's beautiful, right? Keep doing your research. Meditate on it, okay? Ask your specific guides, because again, a lot of this has to do with cultural context, because part of the reason why I felt so pulled to talk about this is because when everybody was saying it, I'm like, whoa, I very much resonate with starseeds, and I know that's not what I mean at all. But then I realized the people who are saying, oh, this is anti-Semitic, this is, race supremacist, that kind of thing, and then we're talking about going alt-right pipeline. That's something I've been hearing for the past couple of days in connection to a lot of this spiritual stuff. I want you guys to dig deeper, okay? When you see these things, dig deeper. Don't just take people's word for face value, even if it resonates with you, because there might be a piece of it that resonates with you, and others that may not. Okay, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all are coming from our own lens, right? So I see that these people who are talking about starseeds and saying that it's anti-Semitic, like they have their own context, and their context is, from the 1800s, 1900s. I know that for me and my cultural influence, me meditating with my ancestors, getting the downloads that I've gotten personally, I know that it goes far beyond that. So you see how that can completely change things, okay? So I really, really encourage you guys to do your own research, connect with your culture, see the ways that your culture connects to stuff like this. See how they connect to the starseed concept or any other spiritual concept that you come across. Also, on the point that people were saying that, starseeds are also just like this supremacist idea, just be careful of people giving it to you that way, right? Spiritual ego is a real thing, okay? And it should be checked. And again, it's like a bigger picture. It applies to how people go about any spiritual concept or practice. Okay, so if something causes you to feel better than anyone because you have a certain practice or you receive certain download, check your spiritual ego. And that is different from understanding that different people have different roles to play in this lifetime. I would also meditate on that. Okay. Different people have different roles in this lifetime. I had messaged one of my mutuals asking about what they thought about this concept. And she had literally said the same thing. She was like, I'm tired of people, saying that we're all equal. We're not all equal. And I guess, let me not put words in her mouth, because I don't know if she said that per se. But the point that I'm trying to get across here is that we are not all made the same. Right. And I think a lot of people get up in arms when, somebody says, well, I'm a starseed. And it's like, oh, well, what makes you so special? And, there are some people who are using it that way. And I would be, steer clear, not necessarily steer clear, but, question that. Because there might be something that they need to question deeper within themselves, especially if there's somebody with a platform who's spreading this information. But just because somebody says that they have a specific title, that doesn't inherently make them better than anybody else. Yes, I identify as a starseed. I know that my soul is ancient. It's been around forever. Does that make me any better than anybody else? Absolutely not. I know that the more and more I know, the more I absolutely know nothing. Okay? And that's just me personally. But I really invite you guys to kind of dig deeper, and understand what spiritual ego is, and check yourself when you get into it, because I've been there. All of us have been there at some point. We're not perfect. The point of life isn't to be perfect. It's to check those things as we kind of go along in ourselves and in other people, if you're in the position to do so, and not everybody's in that position. See how that came full circle? That's what I'm talking about in the first place. I had made a video recently too about understanding your role that you play, right? And again, this isn't to, make anybody feel less than, but, understanding that all roles are equally important, but they might not be the same thing. Okay, I had made a comment and I said, everybody can practice spirituality, but some people are not meant to practice it on the same scale. And I truly believe that. Okay, we are all gifted. We are all able to connect with our abilities, our guides. We all have access to that information. Does that mean that we should all be necessarily sharing that information in a certain way? No, I don't think so. Or does that mean because you're spiritual, you have to be a tarot reader? No, I don't think so. So I would ask you to also kind of look into that for yourself. I said that, we can all sing, right? We all have the ability to sing, but some of us are trying to be Mariah Carey when you're really supposed to be singing in the shower. Now, Mariah Carey isn't better than anybody else, but we know that her voice was out there touching lots of people. Your voice isn't any less than Mariah Carey's. I mean, in the big picture, right? We think a big picture. Okay, so maybe you just need to be singing in the shower. Maybe some people need to be singing in the shower. Okay, so meditate on that one, right? Check in with yourself. Where are you missing the big picture in your life, in your practice? This is shadow work, people. Okay, how can you take steps to decolonize your thought processes, your spiritual practices? The first step is being aware that even exists. And now you are aware of that. Okay, you're welcome. That was a seed that I'm planting for you. So now it's your job to water it. Okay, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.